Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Hello, welcome back to the Great Point Adewunmi channel. My name is Joshua Adewunmi, and today I have the privilege of being with Marvin Kouame. He's a Texas Tech student, he's a businessman, he's an entrepreneur, and he's the founder of Trendsettersco. So Marvin, I'm really excited to have you here.
Thank you for having
So
me.
tell us a little bit about Trendsettersco.
All right, well, Trendsettersco, the foundation of the brand was built around the financial markets because personally I'm a forex trader, so that's a passion of mine. But it's tailored around entrepreneurship as a whole. So it's just built around the grind and the hustle and just the ambition and every trait that entrepreneurship embodies. So whether your passion is trading or any type of, non-standard, way of accumulating money, you know what I'm saying? It represents you, as long as you're chasing your dream, chasing your passion, and putting your all towards it, Trendsettersco is all about setting the trend and straying away from the norm, as society says.
So you basically describe this as kind of like an entrepreneur's brand,
Right, it's definitely for the people.
Okay. So what inspired you to start this venture of yours?
Well, basically, I've always been business oriented, like mindset wise. I knew I was going to start a brand or a company of my own, but I really didn't know exactly what it was going to be. Crazy enough, but as soon as I got into trading about almost 2.5 years ago, everything just started to come together. So I do believe it was literally structured by God. He gave me this idea, gave me this plan to put it all together. So everything just started becoming more clear, and then I just put it all together, and so the result, Trendsettersco. So I do believe it was perfect timing, and it's the brand I'm supposed to create, and it's the thing I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, as a senior in college, this is your 4th year in college, right?
Yes, sir.
So you started trading 2.5 years ago, which was your sophomore year?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you decide to start trading at that point in your life? Why didn't you start in high school? Why didn't you start last week? Why that period of your life?
Crazy enough, I've heard about stocks and that type of market before, when I was in high school, but I never really paid it much attention. You know what I'm saying? Because from the outside looking in, when you think about trading, you think of high level people, suits and ties. You don't think about the average person, the average citizen being able to make that much money from financial markets. So I started hearing more and more about it, so I finally took the time to just dive into it and see what it's all about. So I just fell in love with it and took off from there.
Okay. And for viewers at home who are not traders, how long do you think would you say it took you to actually get profitable at trading? So people know that it's actually possible. It's not going to take you 10 years to get good.
Right.
How long did it take you before you finally started seeing, profits in?
Honestly, it really varies from person to person. It just varies on your how quick you learn. It's all about learning curve, because the thing about trading is it's a never-ending learning process. You can always, to this day, I'm still learning and still getting better and becoming sharper. But it took me, I would say, about the middle of last year to start seeing profits consistently. And I had to go through a lot of training. It took a lot of hours, a lot of work, but it's definitely achievable. The money you see online, on YouTube, on social media, it's definitely feasible. So it's definitely possible.
And another thing that I always hear traders say is, it's a long-term thing. When you spend money on courses that teach you and you spend $200 a month or whatever, at the end of the day, when you're making $10,000, every 6 months or every year extra, it's a lot more. It's a lot more beneficial to you in the long run. So, starting this clothing brand, it's a clothing brand, right?
Yes, sir.
Why? There's a lot of clothing brands out there. In my experience, I've seen clothing brands, about swimsuits. I've seen, coats. I've seen every kind of clothing brand out there in the last 2 years, right? So what about yours is different to, everybody else's? Everybody has their own kind of clothing brand nowadays. What makes yours special? What makes people want to gravitate towards yours more than the rest?
Right, well, as far as the trading niche goes, there's been a big lack in uniqueness and creativity in the apparel market. So that's where my brand comes into play and creates a new wave and creates a shift. like these shirts are fashionable, and they create a sense of pride in the markets. They intertwine everything about the markets. You see the candlesticks, you see representation of the bear and the bull, you know, which are the major symbols of the financial markets period. So it's definitely attractive to, you know, the trading niche, and it's different. You don't see anything like this. So.
That's actually true. I haven't seen a trading brand or a, you know, forex, or is this only forex? Is this stocks, bonds?
Oh well, for now it's just forex, but trading isn't just about forex. It can be stocks, cryptocurrencies, stock options, bonds, futures, commodities. So eventually I will branch out, but personally, because I'm a forex trader, you know, I decided to start my brand up towards what, you know, I'm focused on.
And right now we have a black bear. Bearish?
Yeah, this is the bear, and
Okay.
the unique thing about this design is that, as you can see, the trend is bearish, representing that the bear is in control of the market. And over here you have the bull, and the trend is upwards, which is like a bull market.
Okay.
And the bull is in front of it, protecting this trend as well. So.
Okay, so bear means going down and bull means going
Right.
up.
So crazy enough, so a lot of people don't know the reason why it's called bears and bulls, but when the bears, you know, attack their victims or prey or whatever, they swipe down with their paws, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then when the bulls, you know, attack their prey or whatever, their horns are up. So that's where the meaning of bears and bulls come from in the respective trends. So.
Okay, because whenever I saw that, I thought these are two aggressive animals. Why
Yeah.
would anything be negative about, you know, one or the other? But now that you mentioned it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So, just briefly, can you give any current traders or any future traders any kind of advice? You know, what courses to take, what to focus on, anything?
Well, from personal experience, and I mean, it's not even personal experience. A lot of traders will tell you this. It's really long term. Like, you'll see the money on social media, which isn't bad because a lot of people start trading for money, like, you know, that extra stream of income. And I was that person too. But a reality check happened when I realized, like, hey, like, it's gonna take a while. Like, you know, it's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna turn $100 into $10,000 in a week. Like, I mean, you can.
Sadly.
Once you get that skill set, you know, you become like, you know, a top-notch trader. But it definitely takes time. You definitely have to put in work. And it's just like, I look at it as any sport. You know, when you're playing basketball, you have to put in the reps. You know, you have to work hard, and that's the same thing with anything.
So it's like school.
It's really like school, yeah. So
go to forex school every day and you just learn.
Yeah, and I mean, like, personally, like, I started off on my own. I started with the free training, and then I just wanted to take a step further and invested in a mentor. My mentor is Q Banks. You can find him on Instagram. Personally, I paid $500 for my course, and, you know, a lot of people think, oh, that's crazy, that's a lot of money, but it came back like that. You know, the investment was returned, you know, once I got down the skill set. So
Exactly. And, you know, one thing I will say, even though I'm not as good as him at trading, I'm still a demoer. One thing I will say is spending that $500 now, when you look back at it 5-6 months from now, and you've made it back, you know, and you've gotten that knowledge as well, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot more beneficial to you in the long term. So, Marvin, do you have any social media, any Instagram, Twitter that you want people to go to, or any websites that you want people to go to see more of your products?
yeah, so the website for my brand is Trendsettersco.com. The Twitter for the company is Trendsetters_co, and the IG is TrendsettersCo.official, and then my personal Twitter and IG is MoneyMarv 2Vs_.
Yes, and also if you go on the Grade Point Adewunmi Twitter and IG, you will see these links there as well, and we will be promoting Marvin very hard. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.